And welcome back. This is News Talk. Our guest this morning is Audrey Ventura from Universal Wellness over in Washington Mills. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me, Gary.
And happy holidays to you.
You too.
And as we're waiting for some calls, 793-WKTV. If you have any yoga or massage or general wellness questions, just give us a call, 793-WKTV. But as you mentioned when you were last here, a couple months ago, you opened your new shop.
Yes.
And you got a new name.
Yep.
And it's more than just yoga and massage now. It's also skincare.
Skincare and coaching.
And
yes.
Again, for folks who may not have seen our previous segments, what is the coaching angle?
So it's health coaching. So with health coaching, it takes all of it and puts it together. So there's an additional nutrition aspect to it, and they'll help you with that exercise component and putting it all together. Like, you might be exercising too much. So a lot of people do, and they think, oh, I need to exercise more, and that's not the issue that they're having. Right. It might be that they're exercising too much and your cortisol level is too high, and that's why they're not losing weight. And they're eating right, they're exercising right, they actually need to back down a little bit. And that's really complicated, and that's the physiology part of it. That's the chemicals in our body that we just don't understand unless you've taken anatomy and physiology and really understand those chemicals and how they work. So that's where Rachel is a health coach, and she can actually take a look at and just help you, and you might say, oh, it just might be my stress levels. You know, it might be that, and you might need to do a little bit more yoga and relaxation, but you might be right. You might not be exercising enough. Like, she's gonna help you balance it.
What a good idea for a gift.
It's a great gift, and we've put together, actually totally different than I've ever done in the past. We've put together packages that include that, like a half-hour wellness package with some yoga classes and a massage. I always laugh, I'm like, well, the massage is the treat after you've worked hard, you know? So we've tried to do some different things like that.
Beautiful. And we're talking the stress of the holidays today. And before we get to some yoga poses to relieve stress, you were mentioning that you were from Whitesboro years ago, and you know a lot of the folks in the hard-hit area down there.
Yes.
You've actually had some come in for some stress relief.
Yes, absolutely. The stress of any life-changing thing, and I like to try to tell people, you don't have to actually do anything complicated. You know, I showed child's pose on the floor. This is like one of the go-to relaxing things, but you can do this in a chair because a lot of people can't get down on the floor. And you do it the same way. You're sitting in the chair, you just bring yourself forward, and you know, you can put a pillow. A lot of people can't go that far. Just put a pillow there and bring yourself forward. But before you even do that, I tell people, just breathe, slow and breathe. Yeah, take some slow, deep breaths. You feel your blood pressure going up. That is so stressful. When you're in these stressful situations, you can tell. I usually get a headache myself when my blood pressure starts going up. It's that slow, deep breath. So your breathing comes from your brain stem. So you can control it. So the brain stem also controls your blood pressure, your heart rate. So if you control your breathing, you can also help bring those down. Sit back and breathe. So put your head down, lower yourself down like that, and it'll slow your nervous system. Taking yourself down, but by closing yourself in just like this, whether you're in a chair, you're laying down like I am like this. People like to do it. They prop themselves up on all these pillows. You're taking your nervous system, you're taking everything down and letting, let go.
Beautiful, well said. And Brenda's on the line with a question for Audrey. Hello, Brenda. Hello there. I don't know if she can hear me. What? Oh, she just hung up.
Sorry.
Well, hopefully she'll call back. But we do have other poses as well. And you don't have to actually be into yoga to do these types of poses, right?
I tell everybody this is the wringing out pose. You just kind of wring your stress out. But again, I'm doing this on the floor, and I did this in the easiest way that you could do it. You'll see people in a lot of different ways doing it with their legs out and really kind of cranking around. This is the most gentle way to do it, and there's a little more instruction, but you can do this in the chair too. You're sitting in the chair, you just gently take yourself around and give yourself, tell her, just kind of wringing that stress out of your system. You want to be careful if you have back issues. I wouldn't suggest you to do this. It's not that you can't, because you can, you just don't want to be wrenching. I tell everybody, don't force or yank or pull. You're just nice and gentle. You're just, and again, if you're breathing into it, it's like, I'm just kind of wringing that stress out of my body.
And talking about yoga, if you've never been to a class before, breathing is such a big part of yoga, and you don't think about it.
No, and that's what drew me to it. I've exercised my whole life. I was always an athlete, and I was always like, go, 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 go. And I hated yoga. I'll be honest, I tell people that all the time. I'm like, that is way too slow. But I didn't incorporate the breathing. I was just standing there trying to hold this pose. But when you're really focusing on the breath and you put that in there, then you're trying to do 20 different things. I'm like, I'm trying to hold this muscle. And then I was so focused on doing it, then I wasn't bored anymore. But if you just don't know what you're doing, it's really boring.
That's for sure.
Really boring.
Beautiful. And
So
final pose.
This, everybody is always complaining to me, my hips are tight, I feel like my back is tight. So this kind of takes everything into it. So this is, again, a gentle hip opener, okay? So if you were to do it in another way, it could be very strenuous. This is a very gentle way of doing it. You can do this again in the chair. You just place your ankle on your knee. And a lot of people can't do it. I tell them, cross your ankles and then take yourself forward. So there's so many variations and so many modifications. You know, I try to make it doable for everybody. They think of yoga as this, you know, crazy way of doing it. But the other thing people don't think of is stretching. They think, you know, this endorphin runner's high. Stretching also releases endorphins. So you get that high from stretching. That's why people feel so good when they walk out of a yoga class. And people don't associate that runner's high with stretching, and you get the same thing.
Beautiful. And you should also stress after you work out as well.
That's right.
Beautiful.
That's right.
And quickly, let's wrap up by the information. If folks are interested in maybe a gift certificate for Christmas or even just getting into a class.
We are on Oneida Street in Washington Mills. We are in the plaza with the gingerbread, and we're right next to Thermo Heating. Can't miss our sign. It's a big place, Universal Wellness. And we have a new website. You can still get us on our old website, but Universal Wellness NY. So we actually are trying to put everything together.
Beautiful. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
We'll see you in the new year.
Yes.
2020.
Thank you.
And stay with us. We are back.